I just wanted to share this video with you today. I want to show you how I prep my proteins or meats for the week. I have some chicken and some beef. I don't have any fish because that's the other typical sauce that I prep for the week. So I have three sets. The first set is the chicken breasts. This is what they look like. I hope you can see. They're excuse me, skinless and boneless. So these are just chicken breasts. I'm going to show you how I prep these and what I use them for. And my second set, these are chicken drumsticks. Again, they're from my favorite supermarket that you already know. And then I also have some chicken thighs. That's the second set. And then the final set is the beef. I don't know what it is about these cuts, but we love these. It's these are beef shanks, center cut. I usually buy beef shank pieces, not pieces. I usually get a cut of beef shanks from an Asian store that I use to cook the soups and the stews that we have. But these are very different. They do have some fat. You can see, around the edges that they actually do have some fats, which is fine because we do need fats, even though we need to watch how much of those we consume. But these, if you like oxtail, which I do, these give me the same thing the oxtails give me. And I don't know why, and I don't know how, but we love them. And if you like oxtails and you can't get any because they're very expensive, oxtails are so expensive, it's unbelievable. I guess it's because of the fact that for you to get a portion of oxtail, you have to depend on one cow. And so for you to get multiple packs of oxtails, you have to kill more than a cow. I'm guessing that's why they're so expensive. But anyway, these give me the same pleasure that I get from oxtail. So we love these. It's not unheard of for me to go to the supermarket just to get some more of these. And I'm going to show you how I prepare these too. These I don't use to cook any stews or any sauces or anything like that. We prepare them separately on the side so that we can use them in addition to our meals. We can just use them as sides or maybe some snacks. So I'm going to show you how I prep each one. So I hope you can see me. I'm about to wash the chicken breasts. That's going to be the first thing that I'm going to wash. The chicken breasts, like I said, I would normally prepare them and put them in an air fryer so I can use them, put them in salads or use them as snacks. I also use them to make some curry sauce, but these I'm going to make just for the purpose of using it on the side. So here they are. I hope you can see me. I'm just going to wash them individually. The sink is clean. And then I'm going to wash the chicken parts. So these are the drumsticks and the thighs. I am washing these in the batches or in the way that I'm going to prep them, bake them, or however I'm going to use to excuse me, to prepare them. So these are the thighs and the drumsticks. The drumsticks I'm going to leave as they are because I kind of need the fat to keep the drumsticks moist. However, the thighs, they have a lot of fat. You can see that this is the skin is just so fatty. And so I'm going to get rid of the skin on the thighs. I can get boneless and skinless thighs, but I'd rather do this because those come up very expensive. And as far as I'm concerned, they're pretty much the same thing, and I can remove the skin myself. So that's exactly what I'm doing, and I hope you can see me. I'm washing these because I cook them together. I just want a variety of the thighs and the drumsticks. Sometimes I use the thighs and I add them to salads, just like the chicken breasts if I don't have any breasts. So That's the reason why I like to include thighs when I do this. So you can see they're all in the pot. I don't put any water in this because once you start steaming them, you get water come from the chicken. And also, I know that typically a lot of people would go ahead and bake this straight away, but I prefer to steam the meat a little bit so that the juices can, so that the flavors can go into the chicken. And if I put too much water, then I'll do the opposite. So I'm going to steam these without any additional water. So these are ready to be seasoned and then cooked. Definitely not the least is the meat. Again, this is what they look like. I can cut them in half so that they're not so large, or I can leave them as they are. They'll be eaten either way, but I prepare them this way. And I know, like I said, it does have some fat. Obviously, you can see. Think here, maybe you can see better. This one is not so bad, really. Let me show you another one that has a little bit more fat. Okay, here's one that has a lot of fat, which is fine because when I cook, when I steam this, because I do steam it, the fat is going to go into the water, and I never use the stock because of the fat in it. And also, I air fry these, which will also help keep it as lean, or keep them as lean as possible. So here we are, washing the beef again in the clean sink. So moving on to prepping, this is the chicken breasts, as I said earlier on, and I'm going to season this, or season them, and then I will put them in the fridge for a few hours before I air fry these. I like to air fry these because I like them to stay moist. Sometimes I find that if I put them in the oven, it might be to do with meat, they tend to dry out more, which I don't like. I like them to be more moist than dry. For the chicken breast, it's much easier to season them with ground spices as opposed to the flaky ones. So for that, I have ginger powder, garlic powder, some curry powder. You can use whatever you have, but just make sure that they're ground. I have some black pepper, I have some hot chili pepper, and then I have chopped onions. I prefer to use onion powder, but I don't have any, so I have to use the chopped onions. So that's what I'm going to use to season my chicken breast, and also a bit of paprika. Paprika. I also have this spice that I've been using it for a long time, and it's smoked paprika, garlic, chili, and chives. And it's powdered or ground. So I usually use this to season most of my meat. The spices, again, for those that I use, are exactly the same as what I did for the chicken breast, but these and not ground. Onion, because I'm cooking two different things, a 50-50 share of all the different ingredients. See, I have the chicken parts in the pot, and then I have the meat right next to it. Like I said, I do these all together so that it's easier for me for the week. As I said earlier on, I haven't added any water to either of these two, and I explained the reason why. So these only have the water that probably came out of the chicken or during the process of washing them. That's the only water you're going to see in this pot and half in the other pot. Maybe a little bit more because I have more chicken. But anyway, okay. And I hope that you can see that now I have some water at the bottom of the pot, right? Hopefully you can see. So that's the reason why I do it. If you have never cooked chicken this way, I encourage you to try it and see what you think. Compare it with the way that you normally cook your chicken. I know a lot of people tend to just put it straight into the oven with all the spices. I tend to do this and just cook it um, halfway or almost done before I put it in the oven. The other thing that I do also is that I poke the chicken because, as you can see, the skin sometimes can prevent the flavor from going into the meat, into the flesh. So I would poke the flesh to make sure that that doesn't happen. And I'm going to show you how I do that. Serving fork, like so. I think you can see. So I'm having to use one hand to hold the camera. But anyway, this is what I do. Let me just put this. I think you can still see me. So this is what I do. I just make sure that I pour. See, I'm going to mix it even more. You know, if the pieces are too large for you, you can always cut it into the size that you want, which I do sometimes, you know, and I think that helps with the flavor too. But because they're not, while the chicken and the beef are cooking, I'm going to put the chicken breast in the air fryer. So I think I have 6 pieces, so it's going to be 3 in each basket. I can hear some footsteps coming from upstairs, so I think some people are awake. So I have 3 in each basket, and I'm going to air fry them for 20 minutes, probably about 15 minutes on each side. So here we go. Hi, just wanted to show you briefly what the meat looks like. It's actually done now, and if you look in a moment, if you look, you're going to see that there's hardly any liquid left at the bottom except fat from the meat. I hope you can see. So now the meat is done, and I'm going to air fry them quickly just to get that uh, kind of smoky appearance and flavor to it. Apart from that, it's actually cooked. I mean, there's nothing else to cook. Apart from that, it's actually cooked, as you can see. And then moving on to the chicken, again, I'll use the same wooden spoon because I use the same spices. You can see that that still has quite a bit of water. That's one of the disadvantages. Okay, so here's the chicken. The chicken is done. See all the liquid that you see. Just gonna have to make sure that you actually see. See at the bottom, you have the creamy paste left. So the chicken is cooked really. So what I'm going to do now, the moment of truth. I'm going to get a piece of the chicken breast. So here we are. So good. If you have never made your beef or your chicken or your proteins in general in this way, I encourage you to try it. For me, this is a perfect way to make sure that your meat is tasty, whether or not you use it in combination with other meals or you're using it as a side, or even when you add it to your salad, that the meat itself is actually very tasty. And that's the end of the video. If you haven't subscribed, do go ahead and subscribe. And until the next video, I'll see you soon.